It is well known that many of our earliest childhood memories are fictitious, fragmented slivers of other people's story that we imbibe and regurgitate as our own. But most people can remember the first time they saw something that left them with a feeling of wonder, of admiration and reverence, a sense of awe. For me, this feeling of awe is indelibly linked to my first memory of my grandfather. Looking at him from the low vantage point of my childhood, seeing this man dressed in a black suit, standing taller than anyone else, back straight like a board, picking me up with no effort and moving as if there were no possible boundaries to restrict him. I clearly recall the feeling of total veneration he inspired in me. Growing up, I saw my grandfather as a man in constant motion, active and industrious in many of his endeavors. He had kept his athletic pursuit well into his middle years and carried himself with a disciplined, dignified bearing. He was an immigrant with an individualistic streak, going about his business without drawing attention to himself. So it was not out of character for him to dismiss my inquiries when I first noticed some bruising on his arm. This was not long after his 60th birthday, and my grandmother told me about a fall he had in the bathroom. Not the first time, she said. A few weeks ago he tripped in the yard, but you know him. He says he's getting old, and this is what getting old means. When I asked him if he had sought advice from a medical professional, he brushed me off with, "If I go to the doctor every time I stumble, everyone's tax bills will go through the roof." But the stumbles were getting more frequent. He tripped over an extension cord in the garage, the stairs to the basement, the corner of a rug. He did not exhibit any serious physical injuries, but my grandmother noticed his personality change. He seemed to snap at others unlike his usual self. She would later tell me, became forgetful and frustrated with himself for being forgetful. He also became more brooding, with a noticeable difference in his personality. During a regular physical with his doctor, my grandmother accompanied him and was the one to discuss the previous episodes of his fall. The doctor mentioned that increased instances of fall were not common for old age and referred him to a specialist. Before his appointment that winter, he slipped on the driveway and lost consciousness. He was taken for a CT scan of his head, which showed multiple small old bleeds in his brain, caused by all the previous episodes of falls he had. This very well explained his personality change. But the head scan also showed a major new bleed from which he would not recover. He did not regain consciousness and passed away. When a big tree falls, the ground shakes. Seeing my grandfather lying in the ICU, I recall thinking of this phrase I had come across. I had always seen him as a titan, standing tall, moving with certitude. I felt dropped off his presence in my life and was left wondering what could have been done to prevent the situation. Had his advancing age really made it inevitable that he would stumble and fall? When a tragedy affects your loved ones, it is natural to seek more information about it. I started researching about the causes of fall for older adults and quickly realized that falls are not a natural part of old age. While physical changes, health conditions, and side effects of medication can put elders at more risk of falls, fall prevention practices can help actually older adults in recognizing fall hazards and take precautions. Reviewing risk factors with your doctor, staying active, and being aware of hazards can help older adults practice fall prevention. I found several community-based programs that support elders in understanding fall prevention methods, including in the community where my grandparents used to live, some of which my grandmother is now enrolled in. Not only is she part of these activities, but over the years, she has built a great support system. If I had the opportunity to speak with my grandfather again, I would have advised him that falls are not a natural part of aging. Proper knowledge and support may have helped my grandfather benefit from available programs and understand that what he called inevitable old age stumbles were actually preventable. This is something we all have to play a part in. By understanding the risk factors, being mindful of hazards, and providing support to the older adults in our life in order to prevent falls and its consequences.